So some of the general themes in this: self-reflection. We've already talked about that a little bit. Look at yourself and really think about what you can change, which brings personal responsibility, personal accountability. It's up to you, it's up to me to start making a difference, taking action. I may see one thing, I may think one thing, and that's really powerful in science of mind, and we know the power of the mind being creative, but am I taking action? Change and transformation. You have the power to change yourself and subsequently the world around you. Another theme, compassion and selflessness. Care about others and act with kindness. Now I know that's kind of preaching to the choir with this group. This is such a loving community, so committed to families and to their loved ones. But I'm talking about the world at large. And finally, hope and empowerment. Believe you can make a positive impact and start with actions. So some of the lyrics, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Like I said, self-reflection, personal responsibility. I'm asking him to change his ways. Taking control of, I'm in control, I'm at volition. Conscious mind, trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. So once I really look at what is, am I willing to take personal responsibility to make the change? If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Personal change is necessary for global change. And when I look at the globe, when I look at the world right now, there's a lot of transformation. There's a lot of change going on. I need to look in the mirror. Am I happy with the direction of the change that's happening? If I'm not satisfied, if I'm not in alignment, if I'm not congruent with that, then I need to do my mental work. I need to do my conscious work. I need to shift something within me. Because when I shift something within me, it ripples out into the world. No message has ever been clearer. The message is clear and direct. Personal transformation is crucial to external change. With a washed out dream, they follow the pattern of the wind, you see. I think a lot of the time we just live unconsciously. When we're not consciously and actively engaged with the power of our minds, it's really easy through the distractions to be distracted and then suddenly carelessly floating around with everyone else. A willow scarred, someone's broken heart. Collective consciousness, there is collective struggle out there, but that also creates the opportunity that there's a place for collective healing, of transformation, of the interconnectedness of community. So as I heal myself, I'm healing my community. So that's a song. So really about looking in the mirror. And if everything is a reflection of myself, then the world, what I'm seeing in the Middle East, what I'm seeing politically, what I'm seeing economically, it's outside of there. But is that a reflection of me? Sometimes I think it is. Let's see. And sometimes there are lots of different reflections. I remember when I was young, going to the carnivals. You know, it's like everything was fun. It was exciting. But then now I'm realizing that there are times where the thoughts in my mind are a little chaotic. Sometimes they get me into trouble. If I'm not thinking the highest level, the highest proportions, the highest frequency, I get trapped, as Genevieve was talking about, through the distractions. How do I get out of here? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. It's like doing the work of, there is an exit, I am in here, but I'm not trapped. We're never trapped. We just need to take control and train our minds. So Ernest Holmes says, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. What's the quality of the mirror that you're looking at? What's the angle of it? Similar to that other one, at the carnival, oh, this makes me fat. I wake up, I'm like, oh, I feel really old. I feel less vibrant. There's some distortions, some distorted thinking, distorted reflections, depending on not only what we're looking at, but from the angle that we're looking at it. Am I remembering who I am, or am I just randomly looking at it? I am that I am. I am that I am. It's a formula that works perfectly each and every time. When I'm clear and I'm focused, I am safe. I am. I am loving. I am. I am prosperous. I am. And if I'm a little wobbly, I'm insecure. I am. It's a formula, our mind and our words and the mental currency casts spells, and the subconscious mind responds and just says yes. So the question to keep looking, when I look in the mirror, do I see myself as a king, or am I seeing some of the other things? Am I seeing someone who isn't dynamic enough to follow a quinceañera? I had to sit with that one. I even talked to Liza about that the other day. It was a reality. I had to do my work and realize, no, I'm not going to wear polka dots and little stripy pants. But I had to shift in terms of getting a clear perspective of who I am. Oops. So this is me in front of a Anish Kapoor piece of art. Anish Kapoor is an Indian artist. And this is a phenomenal, it's like 65 inches around. And it's a bunch of faceted glass mirrors, and it's concave. And so depending on where you stand, you see an entire myriad of reflections of yourself. Some of them are, of the big smiles. Some of it's just the gray hair. Some of it's the glasses. And the funny thing is when you stand in front of it, it's a optical experience, but it's also a sensory thing. As you're walking up to it, it creates a sound vortex. Like there's a transformation. If I'm walking back here and then all of a sudden I get to about 6 feet in front of it, all of a sudden it's like the voice of God. I remember who I am. So I guess the question is, there are myriad different expressions of who I am, a myriad different reflections. Which reflection am I looking for? The title of my talk is, oh wait, that's not it. No, that's not it.
What is this?
The title of my talk. Focus on what matters. This is called anamorphic art. And what the concept is, you have an image, but it's presented in a way that is a distorted illusion. And it remains a distorted illusion until you find your perfect viewpoint. It's all about the perspective. What perspective point are we keeping? Are you looking at your life? Are you looking at the world from the perspective of remembering who I am? remembering who they are at the highest level? Or am I just seeing a distorted perspective? Because the truth of the matter is, when I stand in that perfect viewpoint, everyone and everything, including myself, is the center of the universe. So focus on what matters. Genevieve was talking about focus. A trained mind is more powerful than, or trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. Trained mind is more powerful than untrained mind. Thank you. So what are we focusing on? What are some of the different ways that we're focusing? Which ways are we being distracted? And then focusing on, what matters? So what matters to you out in the world or in your personal lives? What are some of the things that matter to you? Love, peace, kindness, tranquility, fun, thoughtfulness. Beautiful. So focus on what matters. As a religious scientist, as someone in this philosophy, I also like to shift around what the operative word is, the what. So we know what focus is, we know what matters to us, but what's the what? We're the creative source. We're the cause. We're the man in the mirror. When I shift what I'm looking at, the matter changes. What I create in my mind, I'm the what that creates the matter that I'm going to see and experience. The moment that I shift the perception, the moment that I shift the viewpoint, the world will change. That's not the right one. Oh, I didn't send the correct slide. Well, anyways, I'll go to my notes here. The first page of the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes said, "We look forward to the day where religion and science will walk hand in hand from the visible to the invisible." I'm here to say that that day has arrived. And why not? It's probably been here for quite some time. It shows up on Sunday service as a quantum piñata. Dr. James, and really moving into advanced consciousness, a whole different vocabulary and dialogue of what the science of mind, this philosophy that we've been living with, is about. So looking at focus from the Ernest Holmes perspective, in the Science of Mind textbook, he says, to concentrate means to bring a center. And in mental science, it means focusing the mental attention on some definite and desired thought, image, idea, or thing. And he goes on to say, of course, we are dealing with ideas as though thoughts were things. We've all heard that. Thoughts are things. The spirit of the thing is in the thought. This is its essence, the law of cause. So from a science of mind perspective, focus, mind is a creative force, selective thinking, and alignment with universal laws. I can choose the choices, I can choose the perspectives that I want to see. I can see the good in the world. I can have the practices to creatively shift my perception of the universe. And then I can take action and live that experience. So that's from the Ernest Holmes perspective. And then just throwing in the difference, so from the quantum perspective, because Dr. James and a lot of people talking now about the quantum perspective. So quantum metaphysics, the observer effect, focusing in, observing something changes it. Focusing on what matters could alter reality to align with those priorities. And there's a concept of wave function collapse. So things exist in possibilities until observed. Entanglement. Unlinked particles affect each other instantly. Focus on important things can influence and be influenced by distant entities. They're all talking about the exact same things. Quantum physics is talking about the physical, the particles, the subatomic aspects of how things manifest. Ernest Holmes talking about the mental, the spiritual philosophy, the spiritual psychology of how our creative minds will create what we want. They're speaking the same thing. It's not that different from the ancient Vedics, and ancient philosophies and traditions. There is a truth and there's a wisdom that has always been known. So as the man in the mirror, what change do you want to see in the world? Make the change and stay conscious and stay awake. Don't just allow and follow yourself like the pattern of the wind. Be the change. In the end, what matters is you. The way we choose to see the world creates the world we see. I see beauty. I see safety. I see abundance. I see prosperity. I see vitality. I see a perfection that works for each and every person. Namaste.